All right. So, once again, welcome back, guys. Let's start off with the 14th. What happened on the 14th?
We got the flyers and paid it in full.
We received the flyers and we're paying it in full. So, what happened here? So, we went to go pick up the rest of the flyers. How much do we owe?
$50.
Because this time we already made a prepayment, right? We already made a down payment. So now what this down payment is going to do is essentially it's going to go towards our bill. So this is going to be, we need to recognize one thing. What did we do? What did we purchase?
The flyers.
Good. So what?
Advertising expense.
Advertising expense. Good. Okay.
That's 60,000.
Where was the 60,000 at?
The account?
Under expenses.
Oh, okay, sorry. Got it.
Okay.
And then we'll do prepaid accounts and Visa payable.
Yes, because in this case, when we come and pick up the flyers, our only remaining a bill that we have is going to be $50 because we already made the 50% down payment already. So here, like we understand what a prepayment does is it's essentially is you're buying a voucher, and when you are paying for it, you redeem your voucher, and that's going to set forth against your actual bill. So in this case, we paid with our Visa credit card, okay, with the remaining amount. So here, let's go ahead and record the redemption of our voucher, so the prepaid accounts, okay, which was $18,600, and once again, we used our Visa credit card to pay for the remainder amount of balance for the flyers.
2,200.
So 22,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we know what the total amount of our advertising expense was, right? In this case, the full amount was 5 cents per flyer, right? We ordered 2,000. So in grand total, our bill is in total for $100, right? We made a $50 prepayment, so therefore we're going to pay the remainder of the $50 with our business credit card. So therefore, our debits and our credits match because the idea here is we're redeeming our voucher and we're paying for the full amount of the advertising expense. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and indicate my vendor. So City Printers once again. Okay. There's no invoice number on here. But you could go ahead and say 2,000 flyers. Okay.
Paid in full.
You could say pay in full. Or you could do 50% down payment. So you already made the down payment and now you pay, or I guess you could pay 50% remaining balance. Whatever details that you feel that's necessary for this transaction. Okay. So there, I completed my journal. All right, we got the date and everything. Okay, we got the vendor and we got all of our information necessary. Okay. So the next step that we have to do now is move on to our ledger to update our account balances. Okay. So the first one we got here is advertising expense once again, right? We are taking a look at this because we're about to open up our shop. We need to start doing some marketing materials so we can bring people into our store, especially because we need to announce that we have a grand opening. Okay, so not only did we purchase flyers, we also had a newspaper ad that's going to run into the newspaper. So today is the 14th, and this time we picked up 2,000 flyers. Okay. General journal number
4.
4. We're still on 4. Let's take a look at this. And yes, we're right at the end of page 4. And we've increased our advertising expense for another $100. All right. So once again, we need to create a running balance. So we're going to take the previous number, add any debits, and subtract any credits. So in this case, we have now a running balance of a total of $185 worth of advertising expense. So that's how much we set aside to do marketing materials for our business. All right, so that was that one. So now we have to go visit our prepaid accounts, because this time we're redeeming our voucher, or we're applying this voucher to our actual bill. So in this case, here I am under prepaid. Got it. Prepaid account. So as you can see, we have the 50% down payment on 2,000 flyers. Here, I'm going to go ahead and put the date, and this time I'm going to say down payment applied to purchase of 2,000 flyers. Okay. So, once again, we're on general.
That's under advertising, right?
This is under prepaid.
Under assets.
We already completed the advertising earlier.
Okay, can you give me a second real quick?
Yeah. So,
Let me ask a quick question then.
Go ahead.
So, okay, I went ahead and finished week 2 in the trial balance. So for my different items and different things on this one,
Mhm.
I just put
Excuse me, can you go back to the other sheet while he's talking to you so I could make sure I'm putting it in right?
oh, I just went to advertising expense in case you didn't catch that one.
No, yeah, I got the advertising. I'm on the prepaid now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Sorry.
No worries, because it sounded like you didn't do advertising, so I went back over there. All right. Yes.
but my question-
Everything that you place into the items or the notes is whatever you put in there. This is your books.
Okay, that's what
yeah.
I did last night, because as I was doing it, I just put paid in full on 2,000 flyers. I know what it is
Mm-hmm.
with GJ4, so I was just going by what you said, and
Mhm.
I just want to confirm that. So, okay.
Mhm.
I'm
If
good.
these are your books, so whatever details that you want to place in there, you don't even have to put anything in there if that's what you want to be. If you don't want to enter in the rest of the information, just make sure that you know what you're doing. Because if you don't know, right, and if someone else looks at your books and they say that whole thing is blank, they're going to be asking you, well, what is this prepaid account for? What is this prepaid amount for? So once again, the more descriptive you are in your, ledger, that allows you to know exactly what's going on, and that allows others to know what you're doing. But if you're the sole accountant and no one else is looking at your books, then you're fine with putting whatever information that you'd like. So in this case, you don't even have to put anything in here. You can just leave it blank. Okay. But the idea is just making sure that you understand every time we enter in something, why are we entering it in there? Why are we creating a running balance? And making sure at least this part matches is just the ending part. Okay, so here you go. I subtracted out, or I applied my $50 to my invoice, so I credited for my $50, and now I should be back down to a balance of $66.54 and 17 cents. Okay. Nicole, did you already finish this one?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm on track with you guys.
Okay, perfect. And then now that we have this part, we're going to go to our liabilities, right? Because we charge our credit card. So here we are, Visa payable, 614. And once again, we could say remaining balance on 2,000 flyers. So then, once again, GJ4. We charged our credit card an additional $50. So bringing my, total account balance to be now $185. Okay. All right. So there we have it. Everything that we've journalized is now posted to the ledger. So now the last thing that we have to do here is we need to update our subsidiary ledger because we already have the information here. So let's go ahead and fill in our subsidiary ledger. So again, we left off with city printers. So here we got to go find city printers. So we're at higher temps. City printers.
Line 37.
Perfect. Here we are. Now, once again, this time you actually picked up the transaction. So here, I want you to make a separate line transaction just so then you keep yourself aware of where you are in track. And this time, I'm going to say 50% remaining balance. Okay. On order of 2,000 flyers, and I paid with the Visa credit card. Okay. And then now invoice, there is no invoice number here. We do have, this was on General Journal 4. No terms were given. Okay. However, we have a prepaid amount, right? Because our original bill stated that we owed $100 in grand total. But because we purchased that voucher or we made that 50% down payment, now all I have to do now is I have a remaining balance of $50, which we paid using our credit card. So therefore, now my balance reflects that this total bill right here has been paid off. I owe $0. Okay? How did I do that? Well, once again, I marked that the original bill was outstanding for $100. I had a prepaid account which I applied that went against my bill, and I paid the remaining amount of $50 with the payment, and therefore my amount is $0 that I owe. Okay, so that formula is very important that you do copy that formula all the way down because it applies to every single vendor. They're all the same. But once we dive into looking at a customer, we'll take a look at how those ones is going to be looking like. So it's pretty similar, but there's a few differences there. Okay, so there we have it, prepaid, invoice amount, all right, and a payment. All right, and my balance is $0. Okay. So that right there is the completion of that transaction, right? We purchased our advertising flyers, so we have them, and now we're good to go. So let's go ahead and continue on forth. All right. So then, what has happened here?
We purchased.
Purchase from restaurant supplies
Okay.
of 1,000 medium cups at 5 cents each for $50, and a purchase for 1,000 large cups at 75 cents per cup
Okay.
with taxes, and we paid with the business credit card.
Awesome. Okay, so here we just went to the store and we just picked up these cups. Okay. And here, because they charged us tax because it's not food, so it's an actual item. Okay, so here we're not tax exempt. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So how are we going to record this? So this is it's not an inventory item. However, let's take a look at a chart of accounts. What would you consider these items?
Did the inventory?
It's not an inventory item.
Yeah, asset.
It's an asset, but what kind of asset? What is this categorized as, and what main account does it belong to? Why did we why did we purchase these cups?
For the equipment that we have?
Not equipment.
Oh no, for our supplies like cups, sugar, creamer. So that would be under business supplies.
Correct. So in this case, it's broken down into individual. Now, what's the difference between business supplies and inventory? Well, in this case, we're a coffee shop, right? Those are items that we need in order to create the product. Okay? Now, our product is that we're selling coffee. Okay? So in this case, this example here is our inventory is going to be based on the coffee we sell, not the supplies or not the items that come with it. Okay? So these are all additional things because again, it can be selective, right? You can add more sugar, you can add less creamer, you can, again, these are supplies that you need in order for you to sell your product. So I'll give you a hint now. These items, you will be calculating the cost of materials. Okay, so there's an exact number that I want you to calculate. All right, and that's going to be considered an adjustment. So once again, that won't happen until the end of the period. So what I'm going to do here is I want you to make the purchases of the supplies itself, right? Keep track, keep tally of them. Okay, so in this case, I made a purchase of 1,000 medium cups and a purchase of 1,000 large cups. So in this case, it's 11,760 and 11,765. Okay, and here, right? The idea here is I'm purchasing supplies. So where does the tax go?
It goes into the cups.
Yes, it goes into the cost of the cups. So here, there we have to have another split payment because we have two items, right? Because it's based on the total selling price, right? So here we need to figure out what those totals are. And how did we pay for it?
Visa.
We paid it with a Visa credit card. So put the date there. We have medium coffee cups. And we have large coffee cups. And we paid using our Visa credit card. Okay. So once again, the medium cups was 11,760, 11,765, and the credit card was 22,000. So we know in grand total that each item must be a grand total of 135.31. We know that the grand total of just the cups itself is a total of $125. However, we need to divide the $10.31 for our tax. So if you want to, go ahead and go to the side of your journal and you can compute this here. You could say, well, the total amount for my medium cups were $50, while the total for my large cups were $75, right? And we know what the tax is, right? It's 0.825, right? I list it right here on the actual form itself. So you can go ahead and multiply across for your total amount of tax. So
I got 413 to go with the $50 to make it 5413.
5413, and what's the other one?
619.
619.
Total of 8118.
Oh, there, 81. 18 or 19?
18.
Oops, my bad. 81,
If you
18.
go 19, you'll have an extra penny.
Exactly, because we have half a penny split on both sides. Now, most cases, I would tell you that you would transport the extra penny towards your more expensive item. But in this case, if you want to round your medium cups, you could choose. You have to choose one of them to distribute that penny. So do you want to use it on the cheaper item or the more expensive item? Most cases, tax would be more likely on a more expensive item because it's prorated, right?
That's why I put the 619 onto the 75 to make it 81.18.
Okay, good. Excellent.
Where'd you get the 4.125 from?
I just times it by 0.0825.
Oh, that's the tax.
Yeah, that's the tax, yeah. So I'm distributing the tax right there.
Okay.
All right. But in this case, it seems that even if you distribute or round both ends, you end up getting a nice even number of distribute between the tax. So, yes, again, you can use the side of your journal to do any calculations if that's the case. So here, I can guarantee that my total amount of the medium cups is $54.13, while my large cups is $81.18. So if you add them up in grand total, you should get $135.31, which is exactly what your total amount is on this receipt right here. Okay. Everyone good here? Okay. So we have the information that we need, right? We made these purchases of cups. Oops.
Restaurant
Okay.
supplies.
Yeah, sorry, I did something to my page. So we have restaurant supplies. Comma. No receipt number, I don't believe. Okay. So you could say that you purchased a total 2,000 cups. Okay. All right. And that concludes our general journal number 4. So that means the next transaction that we do complete is starting on page 5. Okay. So there we have it. We split the tax because it's going to be included the cost per cup. Okay. And yep. So now we can move to our ledger. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my assets first because that's the exact order I have it as. So it should be towards the top of the page. Here, my medium coffee cups is right here. Today is the date. Now, your note can say whatever you'd like to say. So in this case, I want to indicate that I purchased 1,000 cups. Okay.
At 5 cents each.
And you could do that too at 5 cents each.
With the tax, 413.
I'm going to, whatever information that you'd like to put on there, you may do so. I'm just going to go ahead and just make sure that I say, well, I just bought 1,000 of them. Debit is going to be for the 54.13. And because since this is the very first one that we have here, it's going to be, your beginning balance is going to be 54.13. So as you can see, we will be making lots of purchases of cups along the way. So that's why there's a couple more lines here. Okay. Because for sure, if we're going to be running our business, you can't be relying on 1,000 coffee cups. Okay. So that's my medium cups. And now I'm going to enter in the same information down below for my large cups. So I purchased 1,000 cups. Post reference is still general journal number 4. And this time I'm going to be debiting my account for $81.18. Okay. Once again, because this is my beginning, this is the only entry I have here. Therefore, my beginning balance is still going to be $81.18. Okay. Last but not least, we have our Visa payable. So if you go to your liabilities on your Excel sheet, it should be left off exactly where you left off. So here, now I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to indicate that I made a purchase with using my credit card. I purchased 2,000 cups. Okay. Obviously, your credit card information is going to tell you that you went to this store and this is the transaction code on it or transaction number on it, but it doesn't tell you what you bought. So in this case, I'm just going to be in this section here, what I compare to my credit card versus my ledger. At least mine's a little more detailed. I know exactly what I bought instead of looking at the store. Okay, so here we have it. I went to the store and bought 2,000 cups at a total of, right, we got to do general journal first, at a total of $135.31. All right, and that should bring up my account balance to now reflect that I have $320.31 balance on my credit card. Okay, so already we have owing $15,000 in accounts, and we have an additional $320 on a credit card, and we only have $5,000 in the bank. Okay. All right. Okay, so now that we dealt with an in-store, we have to go ahead and place this information in our subsidiary ledger again, because this time, what if we decided to go back and return those cups? Right? If you're going to go return the cups, you might as well make sure that you have the correct receipt. In this case, I don't have a receipt number, but the idea is that you made a purchase from this store, so therefore you should be able to return those items. So I believe we have to go to restaurant supplies. We've already seen before in restaurant supplies that we have purchased a cash register from them. This time we're buying some supplies. All right. I'm going to go ahead and say supplies. So 2,000 cups. All right. I bought it with Visa, with my Visa credit card. Okay. So here, no sales receipt number. Okay. However, I have general journal number 4. Okay. No terms were given because it's a in-store transaction. Okay. And the amount was for $135.31, which I did make a payment to. Right? I paid it with my Visa credit card. Oops, for the $135.31. So therefore, if you still have the formula in here, right? I forgot to drag it all the way down because once again, we will be making more purchases for the cups. So in this case, I have zero balance because I had an amount, I was in store, I paid for it with my credit card. So therefore, I owe them nothing. But for any reason that you want to return those cups, you have the option to return them.
But you still owe in the register, correct?
Correct. Because this one we financed it. Our next bill won't arrive until whenever we receive it.
Okay. Oh, no, I brought my formula down, so mine says that I still have a balance of $649.49.
Yeah, at the very bottom of the gray?
Well, I drug my formula down from the top. So when I did that, it shows me my balance is still 649.49.
Okay, because so it's supposed to look like this. So the top one is 649.
Right.
The bottom one, it should be 0. It's supposed to be taking it from that row. So in this case, each line is representing a separate bill. So the
Okay.
first one should be 1, should have an account balance, and the second one should be 0 because you don't owe anything for this particular receipt.
Okay.
Okay, and then your gray is going to reflect your total amount account balance in general that you owe for that particular vendor. Okay, so here in grand total, I still end up owing restaurant supplies $649.49 because I still owe money on that cash register. Okay, so you may have accidentally just copied the actual cell itself in here instead of pulling the formula down. Okay. All right. All right, so that's it here. Okay. Now we're done with our transaction here because we didn't buy inventory. So we don't need to place anything into our inventory items because these right here are just mere business expenses. Or in this case, they're things that I acquire, right? That's going to eventually be part of the cost of materials that I have to calculate when I sell the product. Okay. So that is that. Right? Okay. So I guess I only have one more transaction left. I thought that was 4. Okay, so I see that it just carried over. So then, what's the last thing that happened?
Owner's withdrawal.
Owner says, hey, I worked so hard. I called all these people. I bought all this stuff. I deserve to get paid. So, how are we going to initiate this particular transaction here? So, we're on General Journal number 5. Owner says, I deserve a payment.
Owner's withdrawal and checking.
Okay, yes. So we're going to do owner's withdrawal and checking because in this case, what is the owner doing? He's taking money away from the company. Now, what kind of account is owner withdrawal?
I think it's
Equity.
Go ahead, Nicole.
Equity.
It is an equity account, yes.
So 320.00.
Yes. 32,000. Okay, so here we go, owner's withdrawal. And how do we pay our owner?
For checking.
Proper way is, okay, so when we look at the rules of this, right? It is necessary, right? You can have the owner go to the bank and withdraw from the bank itself. Yes, that is possible. However, there's no paper trail of why the owner decides to come into the bank and just take money out. Okay? The most proper way is to write the business check and cut a check out with his name on it, and he takes that check and goes into his personal bank account and deposit it there. That way, it's proof of a transaction. It validates that the transaction, because if the owner decides to just go to the bank and just rip money out, what does that tell anybody? It looks like it looks like he's just stealing from the company's money, even though it is his money. But in that case, there's no proof of a transaction. There's no reason behind it, right? He's just taking money out of the company. Okay? So again, to make that a safety precaution to avoid the assumptions of fraud, the safest way and the best way to do it is just to write a business check to the owners himself. Okay? So therefore, we need to write a check. So in this case, where do we need to go if we have to write a check?
The bank.
What
Assets.
what bank?
Check register.
You need to go to the check register. Yes, you need to cut the check.
But we didn't get a check number.
That's why you go to the check register.
That's why you have to go to the check register. Yes, excellent. We don't have a check number because I'm testing you here. Are you going to write a check, or are you going to have him go to the bank himself and just rip the money out? Withdraw it, like actually from the bank. In this case, like I've mentioned before, you can do either or because this amount right here is very tiny. Okay? It's not super damaging or super affected, it doesn't really affect your transactions if he just goes right up to the bank and rips the money out. He's able to because of the idea that he owns the company, so therefore he could do whatever he wants with the cash. But the idea here is your safest bet is to cut a check. Now here I give you the option. Do you want to cut the check, or do you rather have him go to the bank and just withdraw? So in this case, we agreed that we're going to write a check. So here, what check number are we using?
1513.
1513 for the total amount of $1,500. And what is the boss's name?
Owner's withdrawal.
His name is not Owner's Withdrawal.
Okay.
Robert.
Okay.
His name is Robert.
No, it's not Robert. It is Bob.
Oh, dang.
Mr. Bob Mason. No. So, again, this name is going to be really familiar because you will see this name appear in QuickBooks class as well. And, yes. Okay, but in this case, his name is Bob Mason. Okay. All right, we got the check number 1513. So now we got to go back to our journal and indicate here that the owner is withdrawing from the company. Owner's withdrawal. Check number 1513. Okay. And the owner's withdrawal is the 32,000, while the checking is 10,100 for the full amount of the $1,500. So he's already taking himself a pretty decent cut of a check. Okay. So there we have it. Okay. Now, since we are ended on the last transaction, what I normally like to do too, like I've mentioned before in the previous journal, I like to go ahead.
Do we go to checking and write that in as well?
Yes. But I want to show you this because I don't want to come back to the journal.
Oh, okay.
So here, what I like to do is I like to, put a bar there just so then I can validate that I have completed my transactions as of the 14th. So that means I'm going to be completing my trial balance for week 2. Okay, that means any mistakes or any transactions that you've completed that you may have to fix or anything like that, right? At least you'll be able to indicate here. Okay, so in this case, trial balance week 2. Okay, so I'm just making a note in my journal that I'm completing my transactions. After this is going to be where I start my new transactions for the week 3. But also this tells me here that means everything above here, if it's good and my trial balances match on both sides, so my debits and my credits match, therefore that means I'm going to validate that every transaction that I've completed between the 8th through the 14th is accurate. No mistakes, nothing needs to be changed, anything further and foremost, okay? So here, I'm just basically putting a line break there just to tell myself I'm done with this week. That means moving on forth. If I don't have...
Did you do that at the end of week 1?
I did that on the end of
Did we
week
make that
1.
black?
I did. I did. Yeah. It's on your end of page, I think this is page 2. Okay. So there you go. Again, you're not obligated to do this. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Okay.
Yeah, no, I want to do it. I just didn't mark the black. I did.
Get whatever color that you want to do. It doesn't matter what color you want to do. If you want to make it,
I did mine in gray just so I did. Then the trial balance is just already in bold, so it made it easy.
yes. So anything like that, right? I'm just indicating in my journal that I'm done with these week of transactions. Therefore, when I do move on and my trial balance is equal, those ones are all good to go. But if I end up finding a discrepancy, I have to go through the transactions between the 8th and the 14th to locate where my discrepancy is. Okay? So there we have it. So that means you could save your journal because your journal is done. Now, don't close it because we will be continuing on with week 3 with it. So keep that there. But I do want you to save your transactions now, okay? In case, your computer decides to crash. Okay? Now, of course, like Felipe said, we need to go to our ledger and complete out our transactions. So that's what I'm going to do. Go to my equity accounts, okay? Locate my owner's equity. So here it is, owner's equity. Owner's equity. And we're going to go locate my withdrawals. So it's the 14th. And I'm going to go ahead and say this is payment. This is a payment. For owner. Okay. General journal number 5 this time. And because we are looking at the debit side, because an owner's withdrawal, it decreases equity. So in this case, I have to place it on the debit side. So it's $1,500. Okay. $1,500 on the debit side, okay? Because that's exactly how I journalized it. And then last but not least, I have to go ahead and update my checking account because I wrote the boss a check. So in this case, it is now 6/14. I used check number 1513, General Journal 5 this time, and I'm taking $1,500 away, leaving the bank account with a mere $4,189.92 left in my bank account. Okay. All right. So once again, question to you is, do I need to update my subsidiary ledger?
No.
Okay. Why?
Well, you did it. You did a withdrawal, owner's withdrawal, but that's for your customers, vendors, and employees. This is the owner.
Correct, right? That owner is not a customer, not a vendor, and definitely not an employee. He doesn't work for the company, right? He is the company, so he could take money out freely whenever he wants.
He's the man.
He's the man, exactly. Okay. So with that being said, there it is. It's an internal transaction because he's the one that's taking the money out from the company. So he can validate and he can sign his own check because he's the man. He's the one that's owning the company. He could do whatever he wants with that money. Okay. So now that we have that transaction all done, I want you to save your general ledger. Because now that we have this, right, our subsidiary ledger, you can save as well because we entered some stuff in there. But for now that we completed our journal, our ledger, our subsidy ledger is complete. We haven't touched our inventory because the last transactions didn't involve it. So now I need to have my trial balance ready. So I believe in the message I did say trial balance. I'm not quite sure if I did. But the only thing that you need to use when you're using your trial balance is your ledger and your trial balance, and that's it. Okay, so here I have my ledger on the left side, my trial balance on the right side. Okay, and here I'm gonna show you some shortcuts later on. So once we finish week 3, I will show you the shortcut there. But for now, I want you to practice going through every single account and marking down their account balances, starting with the very first one here with your checking account. So every worksheet that I have is going to be a brand spanking new worksheet. So this again, trial balance for the end of week 2, which is the 14th, right, is one. You have one for the 21st, you have one for the 28th, and you have one on the 30th. Okay, so once again, each one is you could start from scratch, but what I want you to do is just practice looking at how to formulate the trial balance. So start with the first one, make sure that you're on the correct one. Trial balance number 2. What we're going to do here is we're going to go through every single account that you see has an account balance. So here I'm just going to format my paper real quick, or my cells. Okay. I'm going to make them so that they view the way I like it. Okay. So your choice, whether you want accounting style, currency, or comma style, you choose. Okay. So first things first is we're going to go through the list of all of our accounts, starting with our assets. So first things first is our checking account. What is our current balance in my checking account?
$41.89.92.
$4,189.89. Oh, 8942. Already, I almost made my first mistake.
92.
92. Thank you. Is it 92 or 42? 92. Okay.
92.
Got you. So 418942. Okay. All right. Let's see. Do we have any petty cash?
No.
No. Do we have any cash in the register?
No.
Not yet. Right. We bought our register, but we haven't put cash in it. Okay. What about accounts receivable? We haven't opened our store yet, so no accounts receivable or any allowance for doubtful accounts. All right. Next one we have is business supplies. Yes, we did buy business supplies. Starting off with what?
Medium cups.
We purchased medium cups. Okay. On the debit side for how much?
$54.13.
$54.13. Okay. Next we have here is our large coffee cups. Okay, for a total of $81.18. Okay. All right, did we buy sugar yet?
No.
Not
Until
yet.
we get down to regular coffee.
Okay. All right, so no coffee, no sugar, no creamer. We haven't bought office supplies yet, and inventory, right? Once again, inventory is broken into regular coffee and supreme coffee. So do we have, okay, so for regular coffee, what is my account outstanding for?
200.
200. Okay. So there's a lot of transactions that are going to be dealing with regular coffee. What about my supreme coffee?
225.
$225. Okay. Do we have ceramic coffee mugs?
Not yet.
We do have it. It's just not converted into inventory yet.
Right.
Right? Okay. Next one we have here is going to be our furniture. There's no account balance in furniture, so we can skip this section here. Okay. What about our bistro tables and chairs?
Yes.
$660508.
660508. Okay. Do we, no depreciation yet. So do we have a counter? Okay.
Yes.
For 11. Yep, 1193.22. Okay. No depreciation yet. Do we have a desk set?
Yes.
Yes. For 658.37. Okay. All right, next, do we have display shelves? Yes, for 577.08. Oh, almost fat fingered another one. 577.08. Okay. No depreciation yet. What was that, Melinda? Did you add something?
Oh, no, I'm good.
Okay, perfect. Right. Do we have office office equipment? Okay. We do have office equipment, but it's broken down into specific items. So here, do we have a computer?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
1834.84.
1834.84. Right? No depreciation yet, but do we have a printer? Yes, we do, for 378.87. Okay. Do we have a cash register?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
49.49.
649.49. Okay. And now we're going to be moving into equipment. Okay. Do we have a coffee brewer?
We got two of them.
Yes.
Yes, we do. We got two of them. For a total of
49.27.
4527.95. 4527.95. Got it? Okay. Here, do we have the coffee grinder?
No, it's not installed yet.
It's not installed yet. Excellent. Okay, we do have it. It's just pending somewhere else. Okay. Let's see. Do we have vehicles? Yes, we do. We just recently bought a truck. How much was that truck?
32.208.
208
90 cents.
90 cents. 32 208 90. Okay. No depreciation here. What about prepaid accounts? So we did quite a few stuff in here. So what's my ending balance in my prepaid accounts?
6654.17.
665417.
Man, just looking at the numbers, I want to close up shop already.
All right.
What was the number for prepaid?
665417.
Oh crap! I have. Oh yeah, 6754.
665417. The one above it is 6704. All right. Next account we have here are my deposits. Okay. My deposits were for
1,700.
1,700. Okay. My goodwill, right, the business name, was for 2,100. Okay. On the debit side. Okay. We will be looking at amortization at the end of the month. Okay. And last but not least, do we have miscellaneous expense?
308807.
Yes, we do. Miscellaneous suspense for 308807. Right. So that was the list of all of our assets. Okay. All right. So now we're gonna move to our liabilities. Right. I'll give you pretty much a hint here. There's only 3 accounts under liabilities because we haven't talked about payroll and we haven't opened. Actually, no, there's 4 because we have loans. We haven't opened up our store, so no sales tax. And payroll is a huge portion of this, okay? Because you're going to be owing the government a lot of money. So in this case, your only 4 that you'll see here are going to be your accounts payable, right? The ones that we deal with our vendors that give us accounts. Accounts payable, okay? And make sure you're on the credit side for the total amount of what? How much do you owe?
15,676.40.
Like I said, that's a lot of money. So 15,676.40. We also have a credit card. Add that into the mix. Oops. Oh, where'd it go? Yep. I have a credit card. Visa payable. How much do I owe?
320.31.
$320.31. Okay. I also have a notes payable, right? Because I financed that cash register, so notes payable.
649.49.
Oops, payable. 649.49. Okay. And like I said, I mentioned before, right? We don't have any employees, so there's all these payroll taxes. We haven't opened up shop either, so no sales taxes collected. So therefore, all we have left is going to be our loans. Okay. And which loan do we have?
Truck.
We have a truck loan. Yes. Right? In the amount of $29,221.90. So $29,221.90. Okay. And that's it for all of our liabilities. Okay. Next section here is going to be our equity. Okay. Here. Owner's equity. Right. Is outstanding for $30,000, right? That was our original investment. Okay. However, what else do we have here?
Owner's withdrawal.
We have an owner's withdrawal. Oops, I think I'm supposed to make these all in capitals. Owner's equity. Owner's withdrawal. And this time, what side am I going to have it on?
Debit.
The debit side. All right. For $1,500. No capital contributions and no income summary. Okay. We haven't opened up shop yet, so no revenues or income has been collected. Cost of goods sold is directly correlated with your sales. So in this case, those 2 accounts don't have anything in there. We haven't even dealt with them yet. So the last section that we have left is our revenues. So,
Expenses.
I'm sorry. Yes, expenses. I looked at it and I decided to say something else. Okay, so first thing that we have here is advertising expense. Yes, we just purchased advertising expense. All right? Make sure you're on the debit side because all of these are going to be debits. So, how much was my advertising expense for?
185.
185. Okay. Did I encounter any bank fees? No, not yet. Business expenses.
1,000 on the left.
Right. We had the interior design. Okay. Next, we have here is freight expense. Yes, we incurred some freight expense. For how much?
100 on the left.
$100. Okay. Next, we have here is insurance expense. For $195.83. Okay. All right, no labor expenses here, but it is broken down to two sections, right? We have our subcontractor expense, which, yes, we did incur for
1890.
$18.90, and that was to remodel our store. Okay. We also have temporary coming up soon, right? If they're going to get paid on the 21st. So here, right, we do have a section for our temporary labor expense. Okay. Next we have here is license and permit expense. For $375. Okay. We also recognized our loss on disposal of asset in the very beginning. For $2,000. Okay. Next we have is office supplies expense. We don't have any office supplies in the first place, so no expenses needed here. Okay. Payroll expenses. We have our employees, but we haven't started paying them yet. So no payroll expenses, no salaries, wages, no tax expenses, no commissions expenses. Okay. So then next is purchase expense. Why, yes, we did make a purchase expense. For the amount of
196.
$196. No purchase returns or allowances just yet, and no purchase discounts just yet, right? We just made our first purchase, so nothing there. Okay. And here we have rent expense for the total of
1,500.
$1,500. Okay. Once again, no travel or utilities, bad debt depreciation or amortization expense. Okay. So now that we have our totals, we entered in all of our account balances. Now the next thing you got to do is you got to do your formula to equal sum to get the grand total of all your debits and your credits. So here, I'm going to go ahead and select all of these. Okay, so I have a grand total of $75,868.10. And once again, what I did was to ensure so I can see to make sure if I have a discrepancy or to see if my debits match my credits on the side of my table, I just took my debits minus my credits and I get 0. So therefore, my accounting has been accurate. I typed in everything correctly, no fat fingering anything. So here, I match on both sides. So that means the transactions from the 8th all the way to the 14th are accurate. Okay, and we match. Yay.
Mine didn't. Can I see yours again?
Okay. All right,
Starting from the top of the debit.
got it. Let me move my table around so I could try to. There you go.
Oh my goodness. Did that 387 get somebody last time?
387.
Yeah, when we did the 386,
Oh, yeah.
the 378.
It got Philippe.
Did you get that too?
Okay, what's the total? Yeah, I put it backwards. What is the total on the bottom for the debit?
Total should be 75,868.10.
I'm off by 75 cents.
I was
Okay.
real careful not to fat finger or get my dyslexia up today.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. Where did you leave off?
378, 87, 49, 49. 90. Hey, can you scroll down a little bit?
Yep.
I'm at the bottom of owner's equity.
Okay, so okay, there you go. All of your expenses.
I don't know. I'm still at the 75, 868, 35.
Okay, so I want you to go up to the top and I want you to click, highlight, and drag all the way at the end of this table and check your answer down at your window. What does it say that your total sum should be? Did you check your 83 cents instead of 38?
75, 868, 35.
Okay, check that insurance expense. Which side has, did you do the formula for both sides? Are they both matching with the 35 cents? Or is one of them bigger than the other?
Debit is 75, 680, $75,868.35. And then my credits is 75, 868.10.
Okay, so your discrepancy is on the left side. So here you already went over 13 cents, 18 cents. Did you do 8 cents or 5 cents here? 22 cents here.
56,
Yeah, 'cause you're real close.
Yeah, they're really close.
22, 37, 8, 84, 87, 49, 95, 90, 17, 007, and then 0, 83, 00000.
Hmm. That's really weird because all those numbers. Did you do 29 or 92? Or 49? 42. Because I said 42 in the very beginning.
Which one are you on?
At the very, very top of the very bank.
Checking.
Your checking account.
Checking is 41, 89, and 92 cents.
92 cents. So by
13, 81, 18, 200, 225.25.
okay, 225.
05.
It's just 225.
No, it should be 22.
25.
There's no cents here.
Okay. 75, 868, 10, 75, 868, 10. Okay, I'm good.
Perfect. Okay.
Thank you.
So now that everyone matches, right? Felipe, did you match? Melinda, did you match? Edward, did you match?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just pondering if we're ever like in the doing bookkeeping, you're like, oh, I got to go back to each one and see where I messed up.
Exactly. So what happened
Oh, yeah.
too is that during one of the classes, right, I've had an instance where we try to work on it together. And what happened was we did end up unbalancing. And what we had to do is we had to go through every single transaction. Now, of course, that's the thing about doing the trial balance every week is that at least you're ensured that your mistake has to be within that week. So this one was occurring at week 4. So on week 4, and you guys will get to see this, there is so many transactions. And here's the maddening part. We were off by that 1 penny.
Oh.
So where did we find that 1 penny? And it happened on the 28th of June, the very last day of the very last transaction. That penny was there. Okay. So once again, it can be maddening when you find that you have discrepancy, but at least this ensures your accuracy of your accounting, right? As long as you keep track, right, and doing everything exactly the way it is, right? So you need to complete the journal first. Your rule there is, does your doublets match your credits? We will be taking a look at examples where we will be looking at multiple debit accounts and multiple credit accounts all in one transaction. So you want to be very careful to making sure that your debits match your credits. Okay? Once you have the debits match your credits there, you have to transfer over to your ledger. So that's where you can make a mistake there too, because your journal can reflect one way and you may fat finger on your ledger. Okay? And then when you fat finger on your ledger and post it to your trial balance, that's where your discrepancy will be. And you will never be able to locate it unless you'd be able to determine by looking at your journal and then comparing to your ledger. So it can be lots of many details, whether it's you find it in your trial balance or not. But if you find your discrepancy, that's why what I do here is that I usually do the debits minus my credits, because then I can see, well, I have a difference between the two is by this many pennies. So I have to go through every single one, go through all my ledger, and go through all of my journals. Now, because you have more than one person working on the same exact file, we can go ahead and just compare our answer sheets to be able to tell each other, okay, well, I got this. Did you get this too? So, but if you are working this on your own, unfortunately, you would have to go back to your journal first, go check your ledger to double check to see if you made a fat finger mistake, or you forgot to enter something in there. Then that is exactly how you'd be able to locate your discrepancy. Okay, so a few notes here before we go on break. So what you're going to notice is that notice that when I did my second trial balance, right, I had some reoccurring accounts that never changed in value, okay, such as my computer, my printer, my cash register, right? All of those values, if you compare it to the first trial balance, has all stayed the same, right here, computer, printer, cash register, those values all stay the same. So what you can do is, now that you're seeing some kind of idea, right? Computing the first trial balance versus the second trial balance, yes, you can fill this out even more quicker now. So there are a few things that you can do, right? For the next trial balance, I'll show you that second shortcut, but there's even a better shortcut after that too when we dive into the fourth week, okay? Now, it's once again, I'll show you towards the end of the class. But what you can do is you can make an exact copy of the worksheet and transfer it over into the same workbook. Okay, and that's what I usually do. Second thing that you can do is you can go ahead and highlight all of these accounts here, copy them, and then when you go into your trial balance number 3, you can paste them in here. And they're going to copy all of them down in there. The values will not transfer over. You will get a bunch of numbers that will not transfer over. So that's why the easiest way to transfer the information is to make a copy of that exact spreadsheet and place it into those workbooks. Okay? So I will show you that when we get closer to the end of when we do this third trial balance, right? Because that's how, and then of course with Excel, right? I can add and insert lines whenever I need to. And that's the beauty of Excel. Okay? You can manipulate, change, and do a lot of things here. Okay? And that's exactly what I'm going to show you next week. Okay? But for now, excuse me, save all your work. Okay? I'm going to post the answers real quick, and then we'll go ahead and dive right into week 3 when we come back for the break. So right now, it is exactly 2:52. Let's go ahead and give you guys a 20-minute break so that I can, upload all the stuff and be able to come back on time. So please be back no later than 3:03. Wait, I'm sorry. 3:13. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
3:15.
3:15, yes, 3:15. I'll give you a couple of extra minutes.